Yo, what's good? I'm Jay, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to sample for drill. I'll be breaking down 3 completely different sampling techniques so you can try all of them out and see which one suits your style the best. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you ain't, welcome back, bruh. Let's get into it. Fucking hell. Alright, so scenario number 1. Let's say you want to take a vocal sample and just turn it into something completely different so you could make a beat for Fabio Foreign. When I'm searching for samples, I pretty much exclusively use YouTube playlists. Let's say I want some dark female vocal samples. Can you guess what I'm going to search? If you didn't guess that correctly, I'm not saying you're stupid, but you're the opposite of smart. Once we've downloaded that and chopped out a piece that we like, I'll usually consolidate that out so that if I change the pitch, it doesn't have to calculate the entire track. And don't worry about knowing the BPM of the sample. For the method that we're about to use, you don't need it. All right, so what we're gonna wanna do first, go to this menu here in the top left of the track, chop, time-based, and chop in beats. What this will do now is make slices on each beat in the timeline. Now it's just like a fucking jigsaw puzzle. All we gotta do is rearrange these little chops until we come up with something that we like. I don't really like how this first chop is sounding. Next, I'll just duplicate that over a few times. Then usually for like the last 4 beats here, I'll switch it up a little. So I'll get rid of these. And to get rid of those little pops in between, I'll use a plugin like Kickstart. Reduce the mix a bit. Alright, so next scenario. Let's just say you want to flip a song from a video game or an old hit from the 90s without changing how it sounds too much so it's still recognizable. Let's also say you're not afraid to get sued. Here's the easiest method that I've found so far. Alright, so once you've got your sample, we want to find out the BPM. What I'll usually do is go to a website called TuneBat and then just drag my sample in here. Then it'll give me the key and the BPM. If it's a well-known track, you could even just Google it if you wanted to. Alright, so we know it's 80 BPM. What I want to do is find the best part of my sample that I want to use. For the sake of the video and not getting a copyright strike, I decided to pitch it up a little bit, so hopefully I don't get one. Yep, that's the part that I want. Right, so we'll look for the beginning of that section. Press C to get the chopping tool. I'll make a little chop here. Delete this because we don't need it. And it ends around here. Right, now we'll drag this to the beginning. As you can hear, that loops perfectly already. When you're looking for a piece that you want to chop, make sure it loops somewhat decently already. And now that we know the BPM of this sample, all we got to do is go fit to tempo. If we type in 80, like TuneBat told us, it's going to be way too fast. So what we're going to do is double turn that by clicking fit to tempo, type in BPM, we're going to double that to 160. Quick math. Now let's give it a listen with our metronome on and see if it's on beat. Alright, if I'm honest with you, I didn't expect it to be on time so easily. I thought there'd be a few portions that are off beat. So what I'm gonna do is show you what to do when certain portions are off beat. So what I'll usually do, if a piece isn't on beat, let's just move this over for argument's sake. Make a cut where I want the bar to start, and then I would just manually drag it into place. And if me moving it over has caused the next piece to come in too early, I just make another chop, bring it into place, make this section unique, turn on my stretch over here, and then just drag it out so that this chop will be on time and lead into the next one. What I'll usually do as well before I render the melody out is I'll lay down like a basic drum pattern just to test if the sample works. Alright, so next scenario. Let's say that you want to flip a sample into something that sounds entirely different. This is probably my favorite method because I end up coming up with really unique sounding melodies on accident. I've covered this method in my previous videos, but in case you're new, I'll run you through it again. And if you're not new to the channel, you're gonna fucking watch it anyway, aren't you? Alright, so I've got my favorite part of the sample. Don't worry about the BPM of the sample or it being on beat. And here's what it sounds like so far. Right, so now we're gonna load up Slicex and we're just gonna drag our sample into it. Next, we're gonna open up Slicex, Control A to select all of this. Right click on this menu here, medium grid slicing. It's pretty much exactly the same as the chop in beats method. It just does even chops for us. Then we're gonna go to this wrench here, declick in all regions, declick out all regions. It smooths the transition in between each chop so it doesn't sound as choppy. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to this wrench here, hit reverse. It's gonna reverse the sample. Now we're gonna open this up in our piano roll. Get rid of all of these, Control A, delete. Now we're gonna pretty much do what we did with the vocal sample, except when you're doing it in the piano roll, it's a lot easier to visualize what you're doing and just rearrange the chops. And since we've reversed it in Slicex, the outcome sounds a lot more unique. I'm gonna set this to 1/4 and make these chops a beat. Ooh. Now we're gonna highlight this, Control B, and just copy this over. Now let's rearrange these last 3 chops. Now what I'm gonna do is consolidate this out. Just play with the pitch a bit. You can play with the pitch in Slicex using this little slider here, but I found when you start to go up in pitch, the chops are a lot more noticeable. If you made it to the end of the video, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you found any value in the video, consider hitting the like. If you don't want to miss my next video, consider hitting the subscribe button and the little bell next to it too. Now that you're done watching the video, if you want to learn how to make bouncy beats like 808 Mellow and Rickson, check out this video next. I suggest you click it. You know the fucking vibes. We're only drinking coffee in Christmas mugs, bitch.